Hello and welcome to another video. In this video we're going to cover how you could drop a simple soft sky with some clouds using acrylic paint. For this technique to work you need a fairly large brush. In this case I have a flat brush. This is 1-inch flat brush. You need to pre-mix your paint. I have these plastic cups over here, and I have dark blue here, which is a mixture of ultramarine and white. I have also in here ultramarine blue and white, but more white than blue. The ratio is different, obviously. I don't recommend mixing your paint on the palette for this technique. I use ultramarine blue in a big jar, and this is my craft artist acrylic paint. I use a lot of white, so I usually purchase my white in these big containers. Alright, also you need a mister bottle to mist your canvas. Once you have some moisture on the canvas, your paint spreads easier. And that's about it. So we're gonna do the sky in two stages. Stage 1, we're gonna drop the blue sky, and then stage 2, we're gonna paint the clouds. I already have some blue color on the canvas, so I'm not working with the white canvas. You can just cover your canvas, no perfection needed. Just pick up some blue paint and cover it, and it will be easier to do this technique, but you could do this on a white canvas as well. I'm gonna dip my brush in a jar of water, and I'm going to get the excess moisture off by wiping it on a piece of rag. This is a fine mister bottle and creates fine mist. Not a lot, just to get the canvas moist. And pick up a big flat brush and get the excess moisture off your canvas and spread it evenly. Dry it. You don't want a lot of moisture on your canvas either, because then your paint is not going to get good coverage. I'm going to go ahead and start from the top, move to the bottom, and I'm going to start with the darker blue. Your sky should always be a little bit darker where it's near you and a little bit lighter toward the horizon. Okay. Just spreading the paint evenly on the canvas. Alright, so this is my dark blue. I'm done with this cup over here, so I can go ahead and cap this and keep it for next project. I'm going to go ahead and use my lighter blue. Now I'm going to switch my brush, but you don't have to. You can just clean your brush and go ahead and start from here. Don't go into your blue. Start from lower and move up. and move up to your blue paint. I know on the camera it looks like white, but it is blue. This camera doesn't pick up the colors very well. And move up into your sky color, and this way you get a good blend. Now I'm gonna switch my brush to the other one, to the original brush, because that has some of that color on it. But you don't have to, you can just work with the same brush. It's okay. And a little more darker blue maybe here. And blend it down here. Once you're done with the transition zone, down here, I call it safe zone. So over here you don't need to worry about blending. You can cover your canvas. Now depending on where your horizon line is, where your sky ends, you can, you don't have to cover the whole canvas. You can stop here or stop here. Now if you get streaks of, white paint or blue like here, it's okay. You can drop some clouds over it. That's a trick to cover those imperfections, or you could just go over it one more time and repeat the process to get a cleaner look. If you're working on a white canvas, you probably have to do this twice. And if you have to do it twice, just make sure the first coat is completely dry and then repeat the process. Alright, so what we have here right now is a very dry background, darker on top and lighter at the bottom. So what we're going to use a mop brush, a very soft mop brush or a blender brush will work for this technique. Your brush should be fairly dry. I have straight white on my palette. I don't know if you could see. Let me show you. I have a straight white, and I have the same blue that I use for the bottom of the sky, not the dark blue, the lighter blue over here. And I'm gonna go ahead and think of my clouds, how they're gonna cover my painting and composition wise, how they're gonna work. In your painting, you could paint from a reference photo. You might ask, well, if this is the same color, how it's going to show? Well, we're gonna come up here and paint our clouds. And the idea is up here it will show, and down here it will blend with the background and creates a soft transition. That's the trick. So that's what we want, okay? By using the same color that we have here to put it up here. Alright, so, and it's gonna be mostly dry brush effect. You shouldn't have a lot of paint on your brush. And it requires a little work and a little patience for it to start looking like cloud. So don't expect with the first brush stroke to achieve the end. Let's go ahead and do this again. Not much paint on the brush, and think of the shape of the cloud. So let's make it fluffy. As you see, it will show, you can see it. But if I move down here, it will fade away because it's basically the same color. And we're going to keep the white for the final highlight. And you will see how it will make sense once we do that. So fluff it, you know. Don't create hard edges. Sometimes I use my finger to just soften a few edges. But you don't have to do that if you're not comfortable touching the paint. This is acrylic, so I can easily get it off my finger with soap and water. When you paint your clouds, never use a straight white right in the beginning. Always use a gray tone or a bluish tone. And at the end, if you need to highlight your clouds, then you can do that. And by this way of painting, well, you want to call it a trick, even if your transition zone is not perfect, you can cover it with clouds. So now if I go to my white, just want to show you what will happen. I'll put the straight white up here. You can see instantly right up there it will start to shine, and that gives you a very nice highlight with your clouds. Let's do it over here. And soften it. The brush will do it for you. Just go over it very softly. Now we can go ahead and create a second row by applying some straight white. Now if it's okay if you show some of the sky, you know, it's fine. It's actually recommended, you know, for a natural look. Show some of the sky, you know, don't cover everything. So, you know, you see, you can easily create, let's drop some clouds over here. Let's move up here. Maybe something like that. Just keep moving your brush, you know, don't stay in one place too long. And come down here. And don't worry about the highlight right in the beginning. Don't try to finish it quickly. I'm gonna come down here and I'm gonna leave some of the sky up here. Maybe it's showing, you know, patchy clouds, you know. I don't know if you could hear the scrubbing on the canvas. This is really dry brush effect at its finest. This is one of the techniques with acrylic paint that you can create clouds. You know, it's very common as well. There are other ways, you know. Some artists also use wet on wet, you know, while the sky is wet, they drop their white and blend it at the same time. That requires a little more expertise. Now this is the same color as we put over here, so when I put it over here and it dries, it's going to dry a bit darker and eventually it would blend in with the rest of the painting. Down here is really the horizon, up here is closer to you. I know it's hard to picture it, but the sky doesn't move this way, the sky moves that way, away from you. Now I'm going to go into my white and I'm going to come up here and right the edge of my cloud, I'm gonna go ahead and create some highlight. I'm gonna move down here. When I run out of paint, I'm just gonna go ahead, move back up, and fluff it, and create a nice blend. And maybe use your finger a little bit. Now you could use a different brush for softening it, like something like that, and go and soften it. You don't have to. Yeah. Same brush will suffice. Maybe over here. Create some highlight. And I don't know what you think, but it's definitely look like very nice, soft clouds, you know, soft sky. Nothing fancy, nothing stormy, anything about it. Just soft clouds, and this is a very easy way you can do it. I think anybody can do this if you're a beginner artist. I believe you could practice this a couple of times and you get the hang of it. The trick is don't go straight white. Once you go straight white, you can go whiter than white and you can highlight your clouds. I'm gonna come up here with the straight white, create some highlight. Our sky color at the bottom, soften it. I'm still using my sky color that I had in the jar, so throughout the whole process I did not mix any paint. Okay, and that's the beauty of having pre-mixed paint in these plastic cups. You know, I almost finished the sky without even have to mixing any paint. Some white. And again, you can do this in layers, you know. So if I pick up some white paint and come up here, and I can create another cloud, highlighted version of it. Here we go. So you can create, you know, you can layer up this cloud. And maybe just a few very, very soft. I hope you found this little demonstration helpful, and I hope you're gonna go ahead and try it at home. Again, this is just a demonstration. In actual painting I would spend more time on it, but the technique is going to be the same. You see a lot of artists using dry brush effect to paint clouds, and really works with acrylic paint. One point that I really have to mention is that make sure your sky is completely dry before you do that, otherwise you're going to lift up paint. You're going to be lifting paint from your sky. That has to be bone dry. Right, and I hope you guys keep coming back for more videos, and if you're not subscribed, consider subscription. And happy painting, all the best, take care.